G'day folks, it's Rob here. Today's video we'll be looking at some frequently asked questions to do with filters in aquaponics. So today's video is a compilation of Q&A responses to questions left below videos here on YouTube. Feel free to leave those questions down there, folks, and I will get back to them as soon as I can find some spare time. First question to kick us off, we'll be looking at position of the filter in the system and why we have it before the grow beds. So first off the bat, we'll have a look at YS6425's question. Are the solids not good for the plants? Why not place the filter after feeding the plants? Well, basically what we're trying to do is keep as many solids out of the media bed as possible. The main reason being is if there's enough solids left to build up in that media bed, it can cause all sorts of hassles like anaerobic zones, anoxic zones. That's why I pretty much will recommend to remove as much solids as possible from your media-based grow bed system as you can. Now there's a couple of people out there, some gurus even, who think that if you're taking solids out of the media beds, it means there's going to be no nutrients for the plants. That is not the case at all. So for you folks who want verification of this, I'll leave a link to a paper down in the description by Thomas Peterhans. It's an aquaponic nutrient model thesis that he's published. On page 8, figure 3, there is a table. And what this table shows is the breakdown of nutrients and how they're found in the system. There's a category for suspended in water, also fish solids, which is what we're talking about here, and also the amount of nutrients that are locked up by the fish as they assimilate it for their own growth. But the long and the short of it is, if you have enough fish in the system, there is more than enough nutrients that will make it through to the grow bed side of things, and taking out the solids just solves having headaches further on down the line when it comes to your fish and plant health. Following on from that, I have had folks ask me if there's ways to reclaim the nutrients from those solids so they don't go to waste. And yeah, in the past, I used to run them out under fruit trees and on the veggie patch. You know, you might as well feed up the soil beds with them. And some people will actually put it in their worm farms as well. Now, what I've been doing with the solids from the radial flow settler is processing them in an offline mineralization tank. So I had a few questions about it and shot this for a video a couple of weeks ago. Now what we have here is basically a drum, and it is full of bubbling fish waste. It's all the solids that are taken out from the radial flow settler, just that blue filter drum or settler drum over there. They are pumped into this, and you can see it's bubbling away nicely. There is actually a series of air stones down the bottom, and they've been altered slightly because they had some air issues. They were basically clogging up and not providing much oxygenation whatsoever. So I pulled one of the stones off and she looks to be bubbling very well now. Now the reason it is bubbling is because we need to provide the bacteria in there with oxygen and also a carbon source, which I'll cover in a minute, so they can break down the organic matter to make the elements available for the plants to take up. And now the way it works is 2 to 3 hours before I clean out the radial flow settler, I turn the air pump off, all the solids, or the bulk of them, settle out towards the bottom, and then I can decant off just under half the barrel worth of nutrient-rich water, pop that back into the aquaponic grow bed so the plants can make use of those elements. And to fill it back up, all we do is hook a hose on the pump connected to the radial flow settler, and that brings the solids rich water over here to the mineralization drum. Chuck in a small amount of carbon rich feed for the bacteria, and that helps provide energy to the bacteria so they can convert the solids, and then it just bubbles away again until the next time I need to clean the radial flow settler, and we repeat the process. So it is a pretty basic little system. You can check out Rob's over on Bigelow Brook Farm. He's got one that's actually in line with his system. So yeah, just a little bit of an explanation. I've just had a number of comments in underneath videos, so I thought I'd answer them in this one to help you folks out. Now for you folks out there who do like to ask questions in the comment section of the aquaponics videos, I do try to get back to them when I have some spare time. Unfortunately though, things are just